Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, you're going to be out at a cold, potentially snowy opening day today. What are you planning on wearing, young man?
I'm going to wear a lot of layers with down on top. I wear some blue because that's what I've got. So, but I'm going to be warm out there. I'm not worried about the look or whatever it is. I'm just worried about staying warm. And like you, Eric, I've done enough of those early morning opening days out there to know that it gets pretty darn cold when you're just standing around a lot.
Well, I've known you for a long time. I know you don't care how you look or how you dress. I would agree with you totally on that. But here's the thing. Would you dare wear purple? You're supposed to be unbiased, because I know on your Sunday show on Fox 31, you tend to always have orange on, or at least the other guys on set do.
I would say that I do have some Rockies colors, purple, black together. But yeah, generally not too much. It would be more for Broncos than anything else, to be honest with you. And that's just because I happen to have orange ties, to be honest. Orange, my wife, who is the fashionista, tells me that orange is the hottest color off the rack this year. So there you go. That's what I got.
Well, I won't disagree with you that Sarah is a fashionista for herself only. My question is, what in the hell is she doing to you? By the way, you and I have had this discussion before that I've never bought a jersey in my life. I don't know if I'll ever buy a jersey. I could never in a million years wear somebody else's name on my back.
No.
But Hunter Goodman with the Rockies, I am actually considering buying a jersey just for that reason.
I think so it's for the irony of it all, really, more than anything else, which I like. I think that makes sense.
I would never wear somebody else's name on my back, ever. I never have, never will. I'm not a guy who wears any paraphernalia, although that's really a drug term. I would never wear any type of memorabilia or gear from another team. I have been known to use paraphernalia before, although that's a totally different topic. And with that, I want to tell you about Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos. Of course, they're up in Blackhawk, another great promotion going on. They're giving away a Ford Bronco Raptor or nearly $30,000 in cash the weekend of May 23rd. Get finalist entries from 10 a.m. until midnight during their daily cash drawings. Every 45 minutes, by the way, or by redeeming players' points. All daily cash drawings that don't get picked, no problem. You are eligible for a second chance drawing on Wednesdays, and that can turn into extra cash. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for The Lead.
The Lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Observant man, although I am Jewish. With that, I will not say that it could be God's will that today's game is snowed out. I don't think it will be, but at least maybe God will be saving the Rockies from themselves, from striking out, or from that bullpen.
Yeah. Or maybe just a general warning of, please, don't even start what you possibly can't finish. That's where kind of we are right now off a 1-5 start, where actually, Eric, their starting pitching has been passable against two pretty good teams. Tampa and Philadelphia would be probably thought about as playoff teams, albeit in the month of April. But they haven't hit the ball at all. Your guy, Hunter Goodman, has. He's off to the best start. He and Nick Martini, one of the 34-year-old journeymen I was complaining about the other day. The joke's on me. He's off to a good start, but that's been it. Chris Bryant has one hit in like 15 trips. It's so bad that they took him out of the lineup yesterday, didn't even play in Philadelphia. Ezekiel Tovar's off to, he's hitting less than his weight right now. I think he's hitting like 158 off to a really slow start. So the Rockies, you never feel like, well, offense is going to be the issue, but so far it's been the issue. Their starting pitching has actually been pretty good. Ryan Feltner getting the start today, supposedly.
Two of the greatest words in the history of the English language, Goodman and martini. And speaking of martinis, for the people who go to the game, with the Rockies now 1-5, what's the percentage, do you think, that people are going, let's say the weather is nice for the sake of argument. What do you think the percentage of people out there are going because they really want to watch Rockies baseball? And what percentage do you think it is the people going out there to get a jump start on getting all lubed up as the weekend has begun?
Well, that's a fair question. It's been 7 years now since the Rockies were last relevant, and they were good. They were good in 2018. That was a really good club that tied the Dodgers for the Western Division regular season crown, ended up losing it in a playoff, subsequently won a wild card game against the Cubs in Chicago, and then were swept in a 3-game series by Milwaukee. Since then, this thing has been destitute. So I think that fans have gotten probably along the way, have gotten pretty cynical. Is that the right word? Or just expectant? Yeah,
you know what?
Apathetic is even.
Apathetic.
Yeah.
They're not apathetic because they keep showing up.
No,
now,
they show up, but I think that they're apathetic about the Rockies. So my answer to you is this. I don't think anyone goes to see the Rockies. I think everyone goes for the experience. We all know Coors Field is a great ballpark. It's fun to go to. It may not be fun today, but it generally is a really fun ballpark to go watch a game in. The weather's always good. The vistas are great. A lot of times the other team is worth watching. And I'm a perfect example. I'm a baseball guy. I love watching good baseball. So I'll go watch the other team. And somewhere along the line, I hope that guys develop a little bit, that Tovar and Doyle continue to develop, and some of these other guys. Tolia has, maybe 10 more home runs than he had a year ago. Instead of hitting mid-20s, he's hitting 35 home runs. There's some things to hope for. Hunter Goodman at catcher is a reason to kind of watch. But they're 1-5 already. Eric, they're already 6 games back of the Dodgers, and they haven't played a home game. I mean,
well, that's a positive. I thought they'd be even further behind by now.
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers.
I can't believe they won a game.
Yeah. I mean, so I don't know, but I will say this: the business model, unfortunately, and I don't mean this in a way that I want to be harmful to Dick Monfort. That's not it. He can run his business as he chooses. But for the fan base, unfortunately, the business model is the thing that is key. We can make money just by opening the gates and playing games. We really don't have to worry about winning games. This is the only franchise in town that doesn't burn to win, right? Nuggets want to win. Avs want to win. Do everything that they can to win. The Broncos are winning now and are certainly, with Sean Payton, trying to do everything they can to win. I would say to you, I don't think the Rockies really worry that much. They'd like to win, but I don't think it's a burning passion for them to win games. I'm not saying that the business of the game is more important to Dick Monfort. I think he wants to win. I just don't think he knows how to.
I think he wants to win very much. And by the way, he said they haven't been competitive in 7 years. As my Scottish wife would say, Dick was just a wee bit off on something he said years ago, which was, we want to be competitive at least 2 out of every 5 years. 2 plus 5 is 7. And unfortunately, that's where they're at. The problem for Dick Monfort is he He wants to win, but he's not intellectually curious enough to know and want to learn the way to do it. He truly believes in this phrase. Actually, I take that back. He doesn't believe, although this is the way this franchise has gone, which is if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. The way Dick thinks is if I always do what I've always done, eventually it will work out for me.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know how long the track record has to be until you, I mean, how long do you let someone bang you over the head with a 2x4 until you try to stop them?
How long is he on the team? There's your answer.
Well, I mean, I hear you. I mean, they're just a remarkably uncompetitive team in arguably the most competitive division in baseball. Just go check where the Dodgers and the Padres are right now, and the Giants are pretty much right there as well. Just one loss. Hell, Arizona is 3 games over 500. But they just have not done anything in terms of urgency to make the fan base think that they care about winning. I mean, how long, I'll ask you, Eric, how long has this youth movement been going for the Rockies? How long now?
Well, I'll give you the same analogy that I gave you earlier this week. You have a buddy who bought a home that's a fixer-upper, and you moved away for about 7 years, and you go back to visit him, and you walk into that fixer-upper, and all he has done is laid carpeting in one room, and every other room looks like it hasn't been fixed.
Yeah.
So this is what's so sad, and you were not here in 2007. It is arguably the most electric story I've ever covered in my 35-plus year career. What Dick Monfort doesn't realize is he has, people will disagree with me, and that's fine. He has potentially the second most popular team in this city. He does. If this team won, you would easily get 3 to 4 million people a year, and then you would have that money because he's not going to take money out of his business model like McGregor Square. He's not going to take that money out of his business model, which was brilliant, doing that party deck. He's not going to take that money and put it towards baseball. It's not smart business to do that. But if he saw anything in 2007, the excitement around here would be unbelievable. You have your niche Avalanche fans, loud but proud. Again, all you have to do is look at championship parades. The Broncos had 1 million people. The Nuggets had 750,000. The Avalanche had about 500,000. The Rockies would easily cross over 750,000 for a championship parade. Easily. Yeah. No? What do you think?
There is an undeniable pull on a relationship that is formed over 162 games. And that's what makes baseball different. People ask me all the time, well, what makes you such a baseball guy? Why are you so bullish on baseball? And there's a lot of reasons. I played the game, et cetera. But the biggest reason is because of the relationship that you have with your team and the fact that you have it made and remade, reformed and reconstituted every single night of the year. You're playing 5-6 times a week. You're playing 162 games over the course of 6 months, and you become intimately familiar with all of the movement of that team. You know every guy, you know every utility player, you know who's coming, who's warming up just by sneaking a glance to the bullpen. Oh, the lefty is such and such, the righty is such and such. You know all of this stuff. Then you know half of the stuff that's going on in AAA or even AA in Hartford. It's just the nature of the game of baseball.
I'm going to give you something else that just occurred to me as you were talking. I used to love watching the Olympics growing up. But you know what makes the Olympics great? The storytelling, they tell you about each athlete and their background and who they are, and then eventually you wind up cheering for them.
Yeah.
You're watching on American TV, clearly you're going to cheer for the American anyway. But if you know their background, it makes you cheer for them a little bit more loudly. Unlike football that is so fast, and basketball and hockey that are so fast, over the course of 162 games, because of the pace of play, guys like Drew Goodman and Ryan Spielborgs and Jeff Hewson do a beautiful job of filling the gaps of the pause in the game by telling stories about the players and telling the viewers who they are. And you intimately get to know these guys if you are watching a lot of baseball. Yeah. And to your point, if the Rockies are winning, you are invested in watching at least 100 plus games a year. I mean, you have been with that team the entire season, watching the majority of their games, and you will not miss a playoff game no matter what. This city is starving for a winner. And I have very little doubt, again, after watching 2007, that if the Rockies won a championship, they would have more people at their championship parade than the Nuggets did. And that was still 750,000 people.
And yet here's the very sad and very depressing truth of the matter. I don't know. I mean, are they any closer now than they've been any time over the last 7 years? I think you can make the argument they're further away. They're a team that's forecasted for their third straight season with over 100 losses. I mean, and this isn't the Houston Astros going 3 straight seasons with 100 losses, accumulating all of those draft picks, which, by the way, they can develop because that's what the Astros do. And then all of a sudden they're in a championship window for about 10 years.
Right.
If the Rockies even improve incrementally this year, it will be with so little notice because of the division that they play in. I mean, great. Okay, good. So you won 70 games, you won 72 games, or whatever the number is. So what? The Dodgers just won 104 and the Padres won 99. You just don't feel like they're moving the arrow forward.
Let me ask you a question. I understand that Zach Veen is only 23 years old. He is a young kid. The Rockies took him with the 9th overall pick in the 2020 draft. He has been with this organization for 4+ years, whatever you want to call it. He was drafted in 2020. Yeah. One reason why he was sent down is because he wasn't mature enough.
How does that happen?
Well, no, but you agree that's one of the reasons why he was sent down. They have raised him as a baseball player for 4+ years. Maybe the parenting blows. Drafting and developing. Maybe you just don't know how to parent. You're telling me this kid, I know he's only 23. Listen, I made a lot of dumb decisions when I was 23, as well as a lot of other people who made dumb decisions when they were 23. But they have raised him since he's basically been 18 years old. And one of the reasons why you sent him down, that he's not ready, is because he's not mature enough to play baseball. On? What's that?
Who's that on? It's on the club.
But you heard that knock on him on one reason why he was sent down. He didn't have the maturity yet, right?
Right. Ezekiel Tovar, on the other hand, was up at the age of 20.
Right.
So they've done it. They've identified players before and said, okay, well, this guy's ready to go. But to your point, and let me underscore it, I think you're right, Eric. I mean, if you've had a player for 4 years, even if they're only 23 years of age,
right,
the mentality and the idea of the what they're looking for within the franchise should have been imparted. The skill set should have been developed. I mean, it slays me when Buddy points out, well, he only and he was injured a little last year. So I mean, I get that, but Well, he only had 200 at bats in the minors last year. It's like, well, who the hell's fault is that? I mean, this is a guy that you look at as a cornerstone to your future. We would all agree that Zach Veen is that guy, one of those guys, along with Brenton Doyle, along with Ezekiel Tovar, along with Hunter Goodman. There's a Tolia. Those are all guys that, if they connect, could be really very entertaining and very intriguing.
So let me give you a guy real quick, Bruce. Let me give you a guy real quick. I'm not saying Zach Veen is this guy, but all I got here in 2004, the name I kept hearing over and over and over again was Ian Stewart. This guy is going to be an unbelievable third baseman. This was the problem with Ian Stewart. He was a tremendous talent, but he was an immature kid, and he didn't love the game, and he didn't take it seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the case with Zach Veen. What I do know is, from what they've said, or what Buddy said, he's not mature enough yet.
Right.
What does that actually mean? Coming up after the break, George Karl likes to type on Twitter, and boy, did he take a shot at Calvin Booth. That's next. Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC. Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Bronco Raptor or nearly $30,000 in cash the weekend of May 23rd. Get finalist entries from 10 a.m. until midnight during their daily cash drawings every 45 minutes or by redeeming player points. And all daily cash drawings that don't get picked are eligible for a second chance drawing on Wednesdays, and that can turn into extra cash. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. And don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC. Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports bar. And welcome back to Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl. I hope everybody enjoyed us talking about the Rockies for 20 minutes because I'm not so sure. We will talk about the Rockies for 20 minutes combined for the rest of the season. So I hope everybody got the Rockies fill on this particular podcast.
Oh,
Unless we're talking about Bill Schmidt getting fired or Buddy Belak being relieved of his duties, or maybe Tovar is in a Triple Crown race, or Zach Veen or Dollander turn out to be tremendous. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, you are what your record says you are.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And I said this to you on radio all the time.
You're right.
You're not worth my time if you're below 500, unless you're the Broncos. You're just not. And right now they're sitting at 1-5. With that, George Karl is not shy being on Twitter. He wrote this on X yesterday. Joker, AG, and Russ are going to keep fighting, and will keep the championship attitude mindset. The rest of the guys don't have it right now. Below average roster construction has caught up to the Nuggets. If the Nuggets don't make a playoff run, and I don't know what at this point is considered a playoff run, do you think this roster construction will cost Calvin Booth his job?
It certainly is possible, because here's the question that I have. What kind of wiggle room do they have to reconstruct the roster that's been reconstructed? I mean, right? This is Calvin Booth's baby, right? And you got to look at Pickett and Tyson and Strother at this point as the three guys. And then Deron Holmes, don't forget him. He comes back hopefully next year. Yeah.
I forgot about
it. And he could be a guy. I think he would have been a guy this year, to be really honest with you. I mean, he was certainly trending that way, but we don't know how that's going to be. He's coming off an injury. He's coming off an injury that cost him the entire season. You know how that is. There's more questions than there are answers. Just as there are more questions right now with the Nuggets than there are answers with this roster. There's a level of trust that I don't think Michael Malone has when, frankly, and I'll just say this. I think that there are two guys. Obviously, he trusts Jamal Murray. Don't get me wrong. But can he count on Jamal Murray every single night? That's a different question. And I would say, I don't know if Michael Malone can count on Jamal Murray every night. He can count on Nikola Jokic. He can count on Aaron Gordon on nights when he's healthy. Right? I mean, okay. So there's even a caveat there. He's always going to play hard when he can, and he will always try to play to win. And I think Jamal does too. It's just that Jamal doesn't bring consistency to his performance. And there's more eyes on him to do it, because without him doing it, they don't have the dynamic 1-2 punch. You have to have Jamal Murray playing at a high level to provide the 1-2 punch that is necessary for the Nuggets to be a team that can win in the playoffs. They have Jokic, I get it, but they need Jamal Murray to be the next guy up.
They need Jamal Murray for roughly 8 weeks, playoffs,
Yeah.
to be the Jamal Murray who had a stretch of 8 weeks this season in which he averaged about 25 points a game.
Yeah.
That's what they need. They need that 8-week stretch. In the meantime, the national media is starting, I think, to line up behind Nikola Jokic. Not necessarily for the MVP race, but you line up behind him nonetheless.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the cement has been poured on the MVP race, and I also think the cement has basically dried as well. However, Kendrick Perkins, who has never been the biggest fan of Nikola Jokic, although he has come around a little bit, did say something interesting to me. He said the MVP conversation is beneath Nikola Jokic. The best player in the world conversation, that's beneath him as well.
Wow.
It's time to have different conversations about Nikola Jokic. He's already a top 20 player of all time. What do you think of what Perkins had to say?
Welcome to the party, pal. That's first of all what I have to say. I'll channel my Bruce Willis and Die Hard. Yes, and there is no question about it. And I'm glad to hear people saying that. Let's reshape it, because I'm like most people. I get the whole SGA MVP argument. I get it. He's the best player on the best team in the West, and he's having a statistically incredible season. There is nothing to take umbrage with for SGA at all.
Can I say one thing that I take umbrage with? I'll give you one thing. I think he's a very, very good defensive player. And that's one of the knocks on Jokic, that Jokic doesn't play both sides of the floor. Has Jokic been good defensively this year? Not really. I mean, he is spending so much energy on the offensive side because he has to.
Yeah.
Listen, when he's standing on top of the key, people just blow right by him. Then again, you're going to blow by a lot of guys who are about 7 foot, 285 pounds as well, when you're about 6'2", 190 to 200 pounds.
Right.
That quickness is absolutely going to be there. But this is where I take a little exception with the defensive flowers that are given to SGA, who I do think is very good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander never really has to guard the other team's best perimeter defender, ever. He has Lou Dort for that,
Yep.
and he has Caruso for that.
Right.
Put SGA on Anthony Edwards for an entire game, like Jamal Murray has to do. Jamal Murray's not much of a defender either. But put SGA on Ant-Man for an entire game. Let's see what happens there. That would impress me. But instead, when Oklahoma City plays a team like Minnesota, they'll throw Dort on Ant-Man. They will throw Caruso on him. And then if Minnesota is smart, and they are, what they will do is they will try and switch off Dort and Caruso if one of them is on the floor with SGA to get SGA to cover him. That's how you get SGA on Edwards. But you never want to put SGA on Edwards because you have two other better perimeter options.
Well, and to your point, and I'll take it another step further. The thing with Oklahoma City is they're such a good defensive team.
They're not good. They're great.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On the perimeter, and my goodness, do they have it in the
And when you are arguably the best defensive team in the NBA, you can be the third or the fourth, the best defender on that team, still be a damn good defender, but it just doesn't matter quite as much because
but hold on, Bruce. But listen, don't try and snow job me and tell me he's a great defensive player.
I didn't say that he was a great. He's a very good defensive player.
I'm saying MVP voters.
Well,
he's so much better than Jokic.
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
I'm not saying that Oklahoma City tries to hide him on the floor because he is still very good. But he's maybe their fourth or fifth best defensive player on the floor every time he steps on the floor.
Eric, any team who has a guy who works that hard on the offensive end better be really good defensively as a team collectively because he's going to lag on the other end. SGA is a scorer first. He's averaging over 30 points a game, for God's sakes. He's a scorer first. You got to go to guys like Michael Jordan, who never let his defensive game ever take a backseat to what he was doing with the ball. Jordan is a unicorn. There's never been anyone like him that was so good on one side of the ball and equally as good or better on the other side of the ball. But SGA is a guy like Nikola Jokic who expends a lot on the offensive end. So not as much is asked of him on the defensive end. He can still provide it. He can still be good in clutch situations. But to your point, Dort, Caruso, Williams, they've got some really, really good defenders on that team. And they've got rim protectors too. And don't forget, they've got a couple of guys that protect at the rim.
I always thought there were only two ways to look at an MVP. One, you're the best player in the league. Number two, take that guy off that team. What does that team look like? Apparently, there is now a third category. If you're the best player on the best team, you get to win. Bullshit. That's a new one. And I understand he is the best player on the best team, and they are a young team. But for those Nuggets fans who are upset that Jokic isn't going to win, I'm not making a comparison to this guy, but I'm giving you the history. Don't think for a hot minute that in the 1990s, when Jordan won 2 of his 6 championships, that Charles Barkley and Karl Malone were better players than Michael Jordan, because both those guys won MVPs. Jordan did not. And what did Jordan do when he faced both of those guys in the NBA Finals? He had that little inner motivation saying, oh, Chuck's the MVP, huh? I'll show you. Oh, Carl's the MVP, huh? I'll show you. Unfortunately, I don't think Jokic has the team around him to even get to the Western Conference Finals to show the Oklahoma City Thunder just how much more valuable and how much better he is than SGA.
I will give you another level of what the MVP is about too. It's about it's about a player that hasn't won it before. That's the next thing too. It's like, well, yeah. Jokic is the best player, but for me, I'll give it to the guy that hasn't won it before. If there isn't much difference between the two, and I'm not going to say there is a lot of difference between the two, I would rather have Jokic than SGA, just simply because, right?
Bruce, offensively,
I mean, there's a lot of difference in the position that they play.
Offensively, they are not in the same category. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world, period. End of story.
Yeah,
it's not debatable, at least on the offensive end. But then we talked about SGA's defense, which I do think is very good. But to piggyback onto your point, Karl Malone had never won an MVP, and neither had Charles Barkley. It's their turn.
Right.
We got to give everybody
that's right. It's their turn
to take a loop around the merry-go-round.
And the safety net is that he's the best player on the best team, even though he's not the best player in his own conference. And he probably knows that he's not the best player in his conference. It doesn't matter to him, and it's not his fault.
Bruce, he's not the best player in his own division.
He's not. Not in his own division. That's true.
Anything else you want to close with before we wrap this up for the weekend? Because I know today you're going to be out there for opening day.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be wrapped in layers with a down coat all the way to my knees if they get this thing going. I suppose that they probably will try to. Hey, give us a good feeling on opening day at least, right? I'm sorry the weather's not going to be good on opening day. If there's one day of the year that you really want to have good weather, it's on opening day. Everybody feels good for lots of different reasons, none of which really have to do with the Rockies, but it'd be fun to have that going on. And in the absence of that, come on, Rockies, give us a win today. What the heck? They're playing the Athletics, for God's sakes.
One quick thing. I want to bring in Alex. Nate Lundy and the station have been working on a new studio. And that new studio is at a bar called Number 38. It is in Low-High. The majority of the Mile High Sports crew is going to be out there. I'm going to try and make it, although it will need to be earlier for me. Alex, I know you will be out there as well. Can you tease people on what people will see besides, meeting Nate? And I'm guessing Troy Rank will be out there. Drew Goodman might be, but it would have to be later. Cody Work's going to be out there. Ryan Blackburn's going to be out there. Sean Drotar is going to be out there. What can people expect to see when they go out to Number 38 besides meeting a bunch of guys from Mile High Sports?
Well, we got our grand opening tomorrow at Number 38. The party starts at 5 p.m. You can check out the new studio, the new digs down there. It's all done, all brand new. So come on down, enjoy the game, enjoy the party. 5 p.m. tomorrow. So hope to see a lot of people down there.
Meanwhile, there's going to be a brand new studio, and Bruce, you and I will be in our homes for the rest of our shows together, because I don't know if we're allowed to even go in there.
Yeah.
Although I'd be flattered if
38 is quite a place.
It is.
Well, yeah, I'm not holding my breath on that anymore. 38 is quite a space down there, though. That's where the NWSL had their original introductory press conference down there. I was stunned at the size of the place and the outdoor space they have, not which will be in much use today. But Check it out. 38 is really a hot number for a good reason.
I will leave you gentlemen with this phrase. It's not the size. It's how you use the size. Have a great weekend, everybody.